Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. This is Ellie.
I'm Bella.
And I'm Haley.
Okay, so we changed the direction of our podcast. We are doing only movies now.
Yes.
So our topic today is coming of age films.
Mm-hmm.
So we each have a movie that we're going to talk about. So who wants to start?
I can start.
Yeah.
So my movie is Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah.
And it's actually, isn't it based on a book?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a really good book. I remember I read the book a while ago.
Yeah.
But
and it's directed by the guy that wrote the book.
Yeah,
so
really
it's a
cool.
very
It's
good
so good.
adaptation of the, if you read the book, then you definitely like the movie.
Absolutely.
And it revolves around Charlie, and he's a freshman. He doesn't really have many friends, and he's really like depressed. And then he meets Patrick and Sam, who become his best friends, but they're seniors, so they're moving away soon. And it's honestly a really good coming of age movie. I liked it, especially since I know I struggle with mental health, and it was really nice to see Charlie like in kind of his journey. And I think it was a really good movie, and I'd recommend it if you have the same experiences.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It has a really good representation of mental health in movies, especially for adolescents. So I think it's just a really solid movie.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of kids our age can definitely relate to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I know, like, my sister graduating, I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, this is the first
same.
time I'm not going to be in the school with my sister again. Like, this is it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just really hard, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good, I think it's very good representation, because a lot of movies don't have that, and they don't really have, like, the actual, like, experiences, and I think they did a really good job of showing that.
Yeah, me too.
For sure. And then the movie that I picked out is The Virgin Suicides. It's a little dark, but it's about a group of sisters, and they're going through just girlhood and like the hardships of girlhood, and they're really struggling with it, and they all end up committing suicide. But I don't know, I think it really shows how hard it is being a teenage girl and the pressure that we feel. And I just think it's a really good movie. Yeah. And I love it.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
But I've heard of it, and I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, it's also adapted from a book.
Yeah.
So
I've heard of the book, and I know that, like, suicide is a problem that needs to be talked about, and I feel like it is good representation for that, too. Like, it needs to be talked about.
Right. I feel like, in a way, a bad part about the movie is that it might glamorize it a little bit.
Right.
So I wouldn't recommend that for anyone who is suicidal, because I feel like it's a little...
It's triggering.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's directed by a woman who knows, like, about being a girl. And,
especially
like,
a teenage girl.
Exactly. So it's, like, first person. It's great. Yeah.
Okay,
Haley.
and then the movie that I did was All the Bright Places, and there's a book on it too, and I think the book is better than the movie, but anyways.
Yeah.
The movie is about this girl named Violet, and she got in a car accident with her sister, and her sister died, and she was found on a bridge thinking about committing suicide, and this boy came and he saved her, and he's like known as the freak around school, so like everybody like made fun of them because people were saying that Violet saved Finch because Violet didn't want anybody to know that she was gonna jump, and Finch like slowly starting to fall in love with her, so he's like, let's do a school project. So Violet was like sketchy about it, like she hasn't talked to anybody really, but they did it, and they went on like different like trips to different places, and in the end they like started dating, thankfully, but then Finch like wants to disappear and nobody knows where he goes, and then he commits suicide. And Violet like writes her like the rest of the project about it, like Finch like saved me, like I didn't save him, he saved me. And it was just really sweet. Like, it's like about love and like suicide, and it's triggering, but it's not like like triggering to the point where like it's like you know what I mean. But it was just really like heartwarming. Like, I bawled my eyes out. It was so sad seeing that like he took her to the place where he said was like the most magical place, and then that's where he committed suicide. So it was hard to watch, but it was like a really like good coming of age movie, because like it shows you the different aspects of life as a teenager that kids go through.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of coming of age movies like talk about suicide and mental
Mhm.
health, and
Right.
it's very important. 'Cause
It
very
is really
prominent.
important.
it's a problem, and it
Yeah.
needs to be talked about. And I think it's good that a lot of movies have that.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Even though it's sad to watch, it's the reality, and it's something that needs to be like
Yeah.
shown.
And I feel like
Yeah.
us like growing up like from little kids to like soon to be adults, like we never realized what life really is
Yeah.
Right.
until we started experiencing like our mental health.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's a
Mental health.
serious aspect in everybody's life.
Yeah.
And it should be talked about because
Yeah.
it's legit.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Like coming
No.
of age is like mental health is a part of like growing. Like when you get into high
Yeah.
school, it's something that like affects a lot of people.
You go through it.
Yeah,
Everybody's
you
gonna go through
so
it.
many different stages, and
Mhm.
it's so
Right.
fast, and you just like don't know what's going
Mhm.
on.
And you weren't like raised to know exactly what
Yeah.
suicide was and
Yeah.
like what like anxiety was. Like I started having anxiety like coming like from middle school to high school because
Yeah.
I
Right.
never had it.
Yeah.
But
And-
like
And then you don't know what's going
You
on.
don't even know what
you
it
don't know what it
is.
is
So
until
that's
you
why
go
it's
to the
so
doctors.
important for it to be
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah,
Right.
teenagers like these days, like it wasn't really taught to like teenagers when we were younger. Like I know
Yeah.
I was never taught about it.
No.
Neither
I didn't
was
know
I.
until like I was in high school and I started realizing what was going on. And
Yeah.
no one talks
Exactly.
about it, so it's good that like now people are starting to like
And I think putting it into a movie aspect really like
brings
lets,
it. Yeah, it brings
it
it
lets
to light.
yeah, it lets
Yeah.
kids like watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just like if you haven't experienced it yet, like you can watch and see what it is.
Yeah.
And like you can relate to it even if you haven't gone through it.
Right.
Because you can
Exactly.
imagine yourself going through
Or
it.
even you might know someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so many people.
Yeah.
And it puts you in their shoes, and you really get to see like what they're
Right.
going through. And I
Mhm.
think, like, before it was such a like taboo topic for people, and like it
Right.
was like swept under the rug. Like no one wanted to talk about it because it's so like it's like a sensitive subject.
Mhm.
But it's good that we're starting to make progress and opening up and letting people open up, and I think
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think now, like, since COVID hit, like, everybody's, like, mental health, like, went down. Like,
Yeah.
everybody was at home. Nobody could do anything. Nobody could see their friends.
It was an all-time low
It was-
for everyone.
Yeah, it was just, like, drop, like, bottom.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it was.
Right.
It was bad. But
Yeah.
I think kids watching movies is really going to help them
Yeah.
get through it.
And understand what's going on, maybe like even
Yeah.
just because they'll have them ask questions like, "Oh, what is this?" And then they can like understand what's going
Mhm.
on.
And you get to see that you're not the only one that's
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
you're not
alone.
alone. You're
Yeah.
not alone.
Yeah.
And, like, if you do need to, like, talk to somebody about it, like, there's always somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, never
Exactly.
hold it in.
Yeah.
Like, never. Because that's what Finch did, and that's why he
Yeah.
committed suicide. He never told Violet anything that
Mhm.
was going on with him.
Yeah.
He never told his mom. He had a rough family, so it was like,
That's, which is a realistic
Yeah.
story. And
It's
it's
real.
Exactly. And
because, like,
everything
with
gets
divorced
bottled
parents, like,
Yeah.
a lot of kids have issues with
Mhm.
it. Like,
up. Literally.
it's a legit thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Mhm.
relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think coming of age movies are. I think it's one of my favorite like genres to watch, just because
Me
I feel
too.
like it's relatable in a sense. And there's other ones that we
Yeah.
can like.
Yes. I have some recommendations. Just some underground, not even underground, just like movies that aren't like more, they're just not
As
Popular.
popular.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
popular.
Thank you. So the movies that I picked out were Palo Alto, which is like not a lot happens in the movie, but you just like follow this girl that's in high school, and she ends up having a relationship with a teacher, but it shows the naivety, I don't know if that's a word, but how naive we are as
yeah.
young girls,
Right.
and how we can easily get taken advantage of, and just the impact of that and what happens when that happens. So that's a good one. Another one I picked out was Shiva Baby. It's at a Shiva, so it's a Jewish movie, but it's about a girl who she's a college age girl, and she doesn't know what she wants to do with her life, which is such a normal thing that people need
Yeah.
to talk about more. Just
Yeah.
not knowing what you're doing, and she's also bi, and she has a relationship with this childhood friend, and no one really believes that it's real. Like everyone just kind of like shuts it down and wants her to be with a man. So I think that's another thing that's like
Very realistic. And
very, very realistic.
Like, right.
So that's a really good one. And then another one I picked out, I actually haven't seen it, but I've heard that it's like really good I think it's very dark, but it's called Welcome to the, oh, I just glitched, I'm so sorry. Welcome to the Dollhouse. I think it's more like middle school age, but I think it's,
Yeah.
I heard that it's a really,
I've never heard of that.
exactly, that's why I wanted to include it, because I haven't even seen it, like, not many people have seen it, but I've heard that it's a very good
Welcome to the
representation. Yeah.
It's like a really strange like title.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
That's like
reviews.
intriguing.
Yeah.
The reviews
to
are very
watch.
good.
Yeah. I think it's very dark and real. So warning
So like
for
trigger
that.
warning,
Yeah, but I heard that one's good, so I wanted to include that one. But yeah, that's
We all
Awesome.
definitely
coming
will
of
watch it.
age. Yeah. So I hope that gives you guys some
Insight.
Yes.
Some inspiration
Maybe some
to
movies to
watch
watch.
them.
yes, there you go.
Especially being a teenager, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
You should
So
watch
if you
them.
liked the movies that we discussed, definitely check those ones out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you next episode.
See ya.
Bye.